Hey there, folks. Ben Farrell for Benn Farrell Freelance. This is episode 5, and this week we're actually going to be talking to a special guest. Hey there, Ben Farrell for Benn Farrell Freelance. This week we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have a guest on the show. We're going to be speaking to Michael Gates, who is the producer, director, and co-writer of Voyage of the Chimera.
1,000 yards. Devil's distance, Captain.
Deploy the mag. Her rotation is slowing. She's dragging us with her. Five, four, three, two, one. Synchro.
Burn all tips to starboard. Reload SIG.
Voyage of the Chimera is a motion picture that is presently streaming on several online platforms and was recently released to DVD and Blu-ray. And I thought it'd be neat to catch up with the movie's creator since he is presently working on writing a follow-up. So we have Michael online right now, and we're going to hear a little bit about his journey instead of you guys hearing about my journey all the time. So, Michael, thanks for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Voyage of Chimera and what that project entailed up until this point?
Well, we've been working on it for probably about 8 years, which sounds like a long time. But you also have to take into account that this was, something I was working on and off since around the time my first son was born. 5 years of, on and off messing around, developing, and then finally getting serious and trying to write it and trying to build all the digital assets to actually make all the visual effects and everything. And then after we shot it, it's been about, 3 years since then. We lost a year, probably a good year from COVID, but we finished the movie and it's all complete and everything. It's actually out and available to watch on Tubi and Amazon, Plex. The Roku channel picked us up, Filmocracy. There's a good 9 platforms, I'm pretty sure, that have us now, and the DVD and Blu-ray versions are now available to purchase on our website since they came out on the 12th.
Now, I understand the screenplay for the movie was written by yourself and your brother, and I was wondering what it was like collaborating with a family member, and artistically, how did that go for you guys?
It just sort of happened. It was not part of the plan for my brother and I to work together. I had this idea for this show. It was a show at the time and not a movie or series of movies. And, I started writing it, started talking about it with him, and he kept coming up with more and more ideas. I do remember that once I finished the first draft, everyone hated it, which I guess shouldn't be a surprise. It's a first draft and all that. I kind of handed it off to him, and he did his rewrite, concentrating on the characters. And then I took it back and rewrote him, and he rewrote me, and we kind of went back and forth. It was a good working relationship, and it was definitely an interesting way to do it. What you learn doing that is that no two people see the same script the same way, and if you want to write with someone, you really need to be talking it out.
Nothing in this movie is blown up yet.
So some of the online reviews that are out there for the movie, they tend to be a little critical because you have essentially what is a sci-fi movie, but it's very heavily dialogue driven. So I wondered if you had a comment to those types of criticisms.
And why is there so much talking?
My response is that it's a character-based drama. I might almost respond with another question. What is it you want out of your sci-fi? Because sci-fi kind of runs the gamut. There's more fantastical sci-fi like Star Wars, quote-unquote realistic sci-fi like a lot of 2001. It all kind of runs in different directions. What are you looking for? If you're looking for action, you go for Star Wars. What we had in mind here was sort of a classic character drama. What I started with was like the notion of like master and commander in space. And that slowly kind of morphed more or less organically into a kind of submarine film in space. The conversations between characters and the interpersonal relationships between them that define them as characters and why they make the decisions that they make.
So I know you're presently writing a screenplay for the sequel to Voyage of Chimera. How has your process changed between the two screenplays, and what would you say is the major differences with this follow-up?
Well, for one thing, the characters are defined much more. The next one, I think, is much, much more disciplined in its writing, much more tight in its story. There's a much clearer A to B to C to it. Here's where we're starting and here's where we're going to end up. There's a much stronger sense of plot, and the characters are weaved, I think, much tighter through that story. You really got to, make sure that you're telling your story the whole time.
Oh, I get it. This movie's all about the characters.
So from a writing standpoint, what would you think you've learned the most out of your journey up to this point? And if someone was out there looking to write a screenplay, especially if they want to produce it, what advice would you have for them?
Really, you need to make notes to your actors, talk through it all, and, really make sure you're prepared rather than thinking that you can get it all done on set. And writing, I think, is similar in that you really need to plan ahead. You have to know what you're writing before you start to write it. Learning how to design that instead of just letting it carry you along, that's kind of, I think, what I've learned more than anything else in the process of making the first movie and writing the second movie now.
Now I'm talking.
So if anyone out there has seen Voyage of Chimera and are interested in updates on how the second one is coming along, how do they find you?
Start following our blog on www.voyagechimera.com. There's our blog there. You can sign up for our mailing list. Visit our Facebook page, which is just Voyage of the Chimera. Follow us there. I post fairly regular updates there. Follow us on Twitter. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which also gets new content every now and again. We have a number of behind-the-scenes featurettes. There's a good hour or more of content there. Those are pretty much the places you can find us.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and maybe down the road we can check in and see how the second film is coming along.
All right. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey folks, before I let you go, I wanted to let you know that with the launch of this vlog, we are going to be running a contest, and I'm going to run a new contest every 2 months. So for this first 2 months, we are going to do a naked selfie contest. So
No naked selfie contests. Stick to the script.
Fine. What the contest will be is email me a subject or a topic you'd like me to do an episode for. And if I choose your topic, and I will choose a topic for every contest period, then I'll send you a copy of one of my plays for free. So for this first 2 months, we're going to feature skin in the games. And if you want to learn more about it, then visit BennFarrellWriter.com and click on Stage Plays. It's not as exciting as a naked selfie contest, but at least it's free stuff. Ben Farrell for Benn Farrell Freelance. I'll catch you next time.